And did you use any firearms?
I never shot any guns. I
You used the
guns
gun
with me.
to threaten with guns?
No, not always. No.
Brandished. I mean, at least did they know you had it?
No.
Use of any telephones, any interstate highways, any...
Well, technically, there's no witnesses, so I guess I could tell you I used a machine gun.
But the truth is important.
We have to.
Well, the truth is,
everything.
until I never felt the need to have a gun out until I started, like taking people, because that was the only circumstance I thought I would have to actually use it.
I thought there were 2 bodies in Washington that you took people.
Right, but I mean, I didn't feel I needed a gun. I had a gun, and I'm just saying I didn't have. I just changed the way I.
You didn't have to force them to get on the boat, or they.
No, I'm just saying I had it. I mean, I used a knife mostly as a threat. I had a gun. I just never felt the need. I would have used it, I guess, if things had got out of control.
So you had a gun.
I just never. It wasn't the kind of situation where the person I felt I wasn't outnumbered, and I definitely felt like a knife was plenty to.
You were not outnumbered.
Right.
But there were 2 people.
Well.
2 different times.
Right.
Okay. So you weren't outnumbered any individual time. And were there, if they were prostitutes or someone that you used the phone or an internet to connect with, someone you would have called?
No, I didn't use internet back then at all. Really.
About a phone, landline, or
no.
cell phone?
No.
You said you did move their cars?
Yeah.
A car that belonged to at least one of
right.
them. And the purpose, we went through that fast. The purpose of moving the car, they weren't in the car, but it was to do what?
Just to throw it off.
Distance it or whatever, just to,
right.
Okay.
Moved it away from a scene or something.
Right.
To get it farther away.
Okay. These are the kind of things, though, that as these cases come up and as we talk more about them, if it's helpful, I think it's probably helpful for you to, the stuff in Washington you just talked about without giving us anything, but we can identify the things that help make it federal and make it have a federal
don't think
nexus.
there's anything federal. I mean,
You've already named a
It's
couple
already
things.
sounding like it, yeah.
What, moving
Having
cars?
a gun, moving cars to cover up is part of that crime.
I'm just saying that seems kind of. It's certainly not every crime that happens in one. I've never heard. I don't know. I don't know a lot about this, but I do read, and I'm saying that cases I've read about, it doesn't automatically become. It rarely becomes federal just because there's a gun involved. I mean, it usually takes a lot more than that.
It may not be charged federal, but it could go federal. I mean, think about the careers.
I know you have the authority if you want to go after a case. And if the locals don't put up resistance, then they let you go after, kind of thing, right?
Well, if we bring the case, if we go,
you bring all the information.
That's right.
Yeah, they don't have anything without us,
right?
Without you, and then without us, and so we bring the case. It's just you don't. The FBI doesn't go around to local authorities and say, hey, we got all this great information. Why don't you take over now? Have you ever seen that on TV? Hey, we're the local county sheriff. We're in charge here.
I'm not saying I suspect that. I just wasn't sure how much. Because some of this stuff is going to be in. It's not like they're podunk police departments. They're, so it's.
But they're not the FBI.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I could see where the local DA or whoever might want to get a piece of me, kind of thing. I don't know.
Well, that's why we get their assurance up front. We don't give them enough specifics. We say we've got somebody who can give information about the disappearance of this person. We give them enough that we can say this is the person who disappeared, and we give someone who can give information about that. But we need your assurances that here's what's going to happen.
Well, I also have concerns about, like with Washington, it might be better if I talk to the locals about the stuff.
Well, we can arrange that too.
Right. I know that. I'm just saying that's what I'm trying to figure out right now because, and I know, it's tied directly to other stuff that's going on now as well, so it's really hard for me to get a straight answer on any of this stuff. I'm just, in my own mind, wondering, in the long run, if it ends up going on the long run, if it wouldn't be better for me to deal with the locals in Washington. That's all.
Well, you can hold on. I mean, we can decide that later, right?
Right.
I mean, if we knew the names of people in Washington, we could decide later whether to bring the local authorities in on that or not.
Yeah. Well.
Or if we knew the name of the person in New York, we could decide later whether to bring the local prosecutors in on that or not. But meantime, we could do.
I'm not worried about New York.
Well, if you're not worried about New York, if you can give us the name in New York.
No, I'm saying that you already have information on New York. You already know stuff happened there. So.
Yeah, I just meant the name of the person so that we can actually identify specifically enough to say we're not going down the wrong trail and we're not wasting people's time.
What in New York, in your mind, makes it a federal case that you did?
Well, kidnapping.
Mm-hmm. From one place
I mean,
to
that's
another.
my understanding. If you take someone and put them
Absolutely.
in a car or a boat or whatever and move them from point A to point B, that's kidnapping. Right?
Yes.
So.
There's federal jurisdiction. But, I mean, if we had the name, it could save us. And everybody, we have to...
I know. I'm going to give you the name. I'm just saying I don't have the stuff I want for it yet.
But that's what I don't get. We're all working on the same end here. There's nothing I can turn around and give you other than to move quickly, which is what I've been doing. Except for this Plan A and Plan B, which is 33 days old. All right. Now, I'm not supposed to give you a pen, but we'll pretend. And just, I need something to write on this Plan A and Plan B so that when we meet next time...
I don't even know, what is that? What is that like?
This was like... is there something called that? That's Plan C, I think. We will leave that off.
Okay.
This was the plan we thought we were on, which was moving this thing forward.
Right.
Plan B was the plan that we're going to be
No,
a year from now.
Russo's plan was you keep giving us information and we keep you out of the media. Look, as much as I appreciate being kept out of the media as much as possible, that's not really much of a trade-off for me because I don't even have anything happening with me for the next several months. You know that.
Okay.
I don't get any straight answers on anything.
Well, I'm going to give you straight answers about what I can talk to you about.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. That's the problem.
So we've still got a bunch of other crimes that ultimately have to be resolved before.
No, they don't. That's my point. They don't have to be resolved. And if
I thought
I
you
don't
said
get
that
what I
they were.
want, then they won't be resolved. The problem is if I start talking now and you get your information and then I stop getting what I want and I'm left to rot somewhere.
Do you think like...
You really think I'm going to be able to say, oh, wait, I forgot to tell you this one really... I don't have anything to bargain with at that point.
Well, let me
I
give you
don't have enough.
two things.
You already have your names. You already have suspicions. I'm already locked up forever, so you have no incentive to do anything for me.
Two things in response to that. One is, if you've only given us 10 or 15%, you can give us, another percent, another body, and we know there's a lot more to give. So you're not putting yourself in this position of playing all your cards. That's one. The second is, don't you think things would move a lot more quickly on other crimes if we actually knew the full extent? I mean, I think if
How can they move more quickly when they're not moving quickly on what I have right now? So
that's a different matter.
It's not different. It's the same to me.
I'm
still the one who's in solitary 23 hours a day. So.
You can be charged with the courier's case as an example.
I know that.
Okay.
But it's not like they're going to extradite me anytime soon.
Well, you could be charged state or federal.
What's the point? they still have to extradite me. I'm just saying, I'm not going anywhere.
Or you could be
anytime
charged
soon.
here with that too.
Really?
Yeah. You left here and committed a federal crime in another jurisdiction. There's something called the Travel Act. When you travel from one place to another to commit a
Right.
crime.
I just fail to see what incentive you have to charge me with that.
Well, right now, as long as we're communicating, I don't think, but you're just saying, you're trying to focus it all on one thing that we can't talk about, and we're talking about all these other crimes is what we're here about.
No, I'm not. I'm not trying to focus it all on the one thing.
Okay.
I'm just saying all these other things, all the other crimes I've committed, they're still directly related to my bottom line, even if they're not related to anybody else's.
No, they are. They are. The bottom line, if you wanted to move quickly, you wanting to get a death penalty sentence.
Did you find out where, how that works? When was the last federal death penalty case?
I don't.
Has
have
there
that
even
with me.
been one?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll
'Cause
take-
you said you were going to find out what the.
Well, and we
Because I don't
kinda-
have access to any of this information.
Well, we kind of got I think we kind of got sidetracked in a bunch of other issues. Was that right
Right.
before the courtroom?
Right. No, I know. Yeah, there's been a few distractions, but
Yeah. Who created those? Let's take a look around the room.
look. I already said
Wow.
I'm not to be
See.
trusted, so you can't really blame me. All right.